stories before we go to calls. Sabella says kids may get swine flu shots first. See, they're going to go after your kids, and they're going to go after you with color of law first. They're going to say your kids have to have it or they can't attend school. You see, we're in level 6. If you get the piggy flu, you could die. Oh, the dangerous piggy flu. School children could be the first in line for swine flu vaccine this fall. And schools are being put on notice that they might even turn into shot clinics. Health and Human Services Secretary Kathleen Sabella's Little Miss Bilderberg herself, 2 years running, said Tuesday she is urging school superintendents around the country to spend the summer preparing for that possibility if the government goes ahead with mass vaccinations. This is something we reported on over 2 months ago. Meredith Vieira of the Today Show talking about a 3-spot shot flu where you have to take 3 mandatory injections. And remember, when you're under WHO level 6, UN, international government programs, you don't have any individual human rights. You have quarantines. You have off-site drugs that don't have to work. You have compulsory vaccinations, all under the guise of international law and globalism, the greater good. Well, that's a bunch of Johnny nonsense. If you think about vaccinating kids, schools are the logical place, Sabella's told the Associated Press. No decision has been made yet on whether how to vaccinate millions of Americans against the new flu strain that the WHO last week formally dubbed a pandemic. First time in 41 years. Let me repeat that, 41 years. Meaning it is now circulating the globe unchecked. But the U.S. is pouring money into development of vaccine in its anticipation of giving at least some people the shots. Remember, they're planning on 4.9 billion vaccinations. There's, 6 billion people in the world. 4.9 billion vaccinations. Put that in your head, okay? That's 5 out of every 6 of us. 5 out of every 6 of us are supposed to take this shot. And if you don't think they're going after the Westerners first, you're wrong. Meanwhile, out of the Mayo Clinic, only like 2 weeks ago, they did, it was out of Minnesota, they did a study. Oh, if you take the flu vaccine, you're only 3 times more likely to get the flu. Only 3 times. Yeah, inject me. That sounds great. I'm going to pay you to inject me with something that's 3 times more likely to get me sick. And this is going to be on a whole nother level. They're hyping this up beyond hype. They got pigs on the cover of magazines, CFR members saying that if you think that this could be, genetically engineered, you hate the Jews. Go watch the Colbert Report clip. It's just beyond disgusting. Want to shift gears here. I was talking about this Army rifle. New Army rifle fires laser-guided smart bullets with onboard targeting chips. Yeah, you think you're going to have a shot with militias against this kind of a military? This is out of popsci.com, and it is unbelievable. You look at it, first of all, they gear it up. So it's pretty much cloaked with the soldier. It would be hard to describe a bullet as smart, but what if that bullet was laser guided? You know what this reminds me of? I can't remember which Schwarzenegger flick it is, guys, but it's the one where he has the fight with the alligator, and it's with Vanessa Williams, the former Miss America. And it's not a great Arnold Schwarzenegger picture, but he basically, which one? It's not True Lies. True Lies is way cool, man. True Lies is the one with, what's his name? Tom Arnold, your best buddy, the guy who did your phone message there. Anyway, this one, in the movie, basically what it did is it heat sinked the entire house. He could see with the heat sinking goggles. We already have that in the military. And then the bullets would go through walls, and they would be seeked as well, and they would hit the people. And this movie could only be maybe, I want to say it's about 15 years old. It was a decent one. Hopefully I'll find the article. But from fiction, from sci-fi to reality, here it is. It's hard to describe a bullet as smart, but what if the bullet was laser-guided, radio-controlled, and carried an onboard targeting CPU? The U.S. Army has announced the creation of the XM25 rifle, which can fire a new type of explosive round that fit that exact description. Imagine the implications. Hitting targets inside buildings or hiding around the walls. Whoa! First, the scope of the rifle has a laser that gauges the distance to the target. The soldier then can set exactly where the 25-millimeter bullet will detonate by adding and subtracting 3 meters from that point. Then the scope will send a radio signal to a chip inside the bullet, telling it how far it should travel before exploding. Now, here's where things get truly nuts. Each bullet has a small magnetic transducer that interacts with the Earth's magnetic field, generating a tiny alternating current every time it spins as it speeds towards the target. Measured against the gun's specialty calibrated rifling, this means the bullet can keep track of how far it has traveled in real time. Whoa again. The Army has proposed the uses can range from hitting enemies hidden in trenches, as pictured above, or even hitting a sniper hiding in a building by setting the range about a meter beyond that window. They are also proposed as smarter alternative to grenade launchers. Remember, these are exploding bullets, which can serve as the same purpose but less accurate and have a limited range, making them more prone to collateral damage. The Army will begin field tests with the XM-25 system soon, with hopes of deploying it into regular duty by 2012. This is the new military. You think you're going to be able to get one of those at your local gun shows? No, not going to happen. You will never have this weapon unless you were in the military. I guarantee you that. I want to get into the CIA mistaken on high-value detainee document shows. Basically, just torturing another phony Al-Qaeda member. They always tell you, we got the number 2 and the number 3 Al-Qaeda guy. Right now, the number 2 guy is a Mossad agent, Adam Perlman. Okay, I know he just talked about his Jewish roots. Give me a break. Give me a break. An Al-Qaeda associate captured by the CIA and subjected to harsh interrogation techniques said his jailers later told him they had mistakenly thought he was the number 3 man in the organization's hierarchy and a partner to Osama bin Laden, according to the newly released excerpts from a 2007 hearing. They told me, sorry, we discovered that you are not number 3, not a partner, and not even a fighter. Can you imagine being tortured by U.S. military for 6+ years? I mean, seriously, can you even fathom? I know I can't. I mean, I'm a big baby. If I get sick, if I actually get the flu, it happens maybe, I wouldn't even say I've ever gotten the flu. If I get like a fever, a 2-day fever, I'm Grumpelstiltskin. Okay. Torture for 6+ years as the number 3 guy, supposedly behind the boogeyman organization that attacked the World Trade Center. And you got juiced up CIA interrogators that have no idea of any kind of reality. Some of them do, don't worry. But other guys, the lower level guys, the compartmentalized guys, they think they're fighting for America. Let's cut off his toe. He'll tell us what he knows. He knows Osama bin Laden. He does. We're going to find out right now. Unbelievable. Let's see. President George W. Bush described Abu Zubaydah in 2002. See this guy right here in 2002 as Al-Qaeda's chief of operations. It's the number 2 or number 3 guy every single time. He's the chief of operations, just like Adam Gadon is now. Again, Adam Perlman, Mossad operative. These tapes are laughable. The Washington Post this year that officials later concluded that he was a Pakistan-based fixer for radical Islam ideologues, but not a formal member of Al-Qaeda, much less one of its leaders. See, even that's probably trumped up in hype. Abu Zubaydah, a nom de guerre for Zain al-Abidin Muhammad Hussein, told the 2007 panel of military officers at the detention facility in Cuba that doctors told me that I nearly died 4 times. Tortured to death almost 4 times. Can you imagine being on the brink of death 4 times? Most of you sissies out there couldn't imagine it once. You probably have a heart attack and actually die. I need my Jenny Light. I couldn't even deal without that in my football. What you mean, real torture? No, we don't torture. Waterboarding ain't torture, boy. Let's see. He endured months of suffering and torture on the false premise that he was an Al-Qaeda leader. Abu Zubaydah, 38, was subjected 83 times to waterboarding, a technique that leads victims to believe they are drowning and that has been widely condemned as torture. The Palestinian was held at a secret CIA facility after his capture in Pakistan in March 2002. See, there are black sites. You notice he doesn't say Abu Ghraib prison. Do you notice that? Do you notice it doesn't say Guantanamo Bay? Because there are other places where they torture people. Don't tell me there aren't off-site black ops spots where they do what they want. It's right here in print. It's in mainstream media, but I'm the nut job because I say, hey, even if they shut down, Guantanamo Bay like they say they're going to, they're not shutting down all the black sites they torture people at. So don't lie to me. I am not, they speak to us like we are children, little kids, like 4 and 5-year-olds. I'm not a 4-year-old, okay? My eyes are wide open. I realize you want to be in the Middle East. for the rest of my life. I realize this is about world dominance. I realize this is about a new world order. And by the way, Ahmadinejad, Mr. Iran himself, again, calling for a new world order. He's done it in the past. And, you know, we reported how Iran had a new pledge to the United States to help them in the war on opium in Afghanistan. And now Afghanistan's the main focus. The media didn't really jump on that. I don't know what to make of these elections right now, but I know that Ahmadinejad is stressing for a new world order with less U.S. control, and that is exactly what they want. They want to bring the United States down to a second world nation, at least publicly. That doesn't mean our leaders and our lords and the corporations and the government and the bankers, the banksters, if you will, aren't going to be at the top of this, again, technopoly.